ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you might be, welcome to the opening ceremony of the Southern Hemisphere Space Studies Program for 2022. My name is Kenol Jules. I am the director of the program. I'm from the NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston, currently being seconded here at ISU to manage the SSP program. It's a pleasure for me to be here and also to be hosting you today as part of the opening ceremony. More than 380 students have graduated from the SHSSP program, and this year we have 36 participants from 12 countries. We are being broadcasted live on YouTube from the ISU Digital Learning Studio. We just commissioned that studio recently, and this is the first time we're using it to broadcast live to you for the opening ceremony. So welcome, and since we are online, I would like to give you an idea of what the ISU campus is and what some of our programs are. Normally, everybody will be in person, but since we are virtual, I want to invite you all to come in as our guests into the ISU campus. Please welcome to the ISU campus.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I kind of grew up with the space program. When Apollo 11 landed on the moon, I was 19, and I decided I want to be an astronomer.
I wanted to be an astronaut.
An astronaut.
An astronaut.
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 An astronaut as a child, right? Because 1969, I'm 9 years old, and people were walking on the moon. I wanted to walk on the moon.
I feel like it's just been a part of me, like my whole life. It's just who I am and what I want. My entire life has been devoted to study space.
I realized how much space was such an integral part of my identity as a child, and how I really wanted to explore space further. And yet from about the age of 15 years onwards, I really hadn't done anything about it. And I found that fascinating, that a woman at my stage in life, who'd always embraced and said, oh, I'm so open-minded about trying things, the one thing that I really wanted to explore, I was cautious about pursuing. But then the following year I got to go on the Space Studies program, so suddenly all of the things that I felt were possible, and feeling in a minority and embarrassed about this person who wants to go to space, I was suddenly in a room with 150 people who all want to go to space.
And it's actually in Antarctica that I learned about ISU. So previous alumni had actually put a sticker on one of the doors, and I thought, ISU, what's that? That sounds really, really cool.
The essential ISU experience still remains the same, and I think that's really what people come for. They come for this broad level of education that we give them, the broad brush picture of how the space industry works in all its components. They come for meeting people like themselves, and for meeting lecturers and experts from all around the world. And they come for the experience. And by the end of 2 months they leave, and even the biggest guys are crying at the end. And I love it.
The SSP in '93, it literally changed my life and outlook on the space enterprise, because, before that I'd been kind of focused in my little engineering world. We're going to control everything because I'm a control theorist, and that's what I'm going to do the rest of my life. And then I went, and because it's so interdisciplinary, it was just sort of an eye-opener, because I learned a lot about policy and law that I kind of knew about but didn't really appreciate.
It's not only engineering, but it's marketing, it's human, it's legal, it's politics, it's regulation. There are a lot of aspects that you have to take into account.
It's extremely multidisciplinary. Yeah? You need to talk with microbiologists, with nutritionists, you need with cooks, with space engineers, with mathematicians, with chemical engineers. All has to work together, because all these domains are represented and are necessary. So that's already great, because you learn every day from these from this expert.
I really like the part of choosing a department where you can try new things that are far away from your expertise to see if there's things that you might become passionate about as well.
And the other really cool thing is the network, because I can't tell you how many times that I've needed to know something or needed a point of contact in some country, and just get online and say, hey, do you know anybody? And I don't know anybody, but I know somebody who knows somebody. And then all of a sudden you're all connected.
It's a very special experience, the Space Studies program, this notion of being together over a 9-week period. You create bonds that never break.
I'm finding it just mind-blowing, just absolutely incredible and beyond anything I could have expected or hoped for. Every day I'm just learning so much. I literally feel like I found my family. It's very heartwarming to be surrounded by people who love space as much. I feel like it's people that I have looked for all my life, and I'm now surrounded by like dozens of them, and it's really, really nice.
It's an experience that kind of sets you up for life, and if you want to have a future in the space sector, you couldn't come to a better place.
And it's not only about the people you have spent the summer with. It's literally that family feeling comes from whenever you see the ISU pin on anyone. You immediately, have the same feeling of trust and being part of the same family, which is, I think, the most amazing thing about the ISU community.
The participants who come to learn at the International Space University, they bring the right values already with them to help humanity have a sustainable evolution on Earth, with space, and maybe in space.
It's about finding opportunities for doing things better, and again, to be a truly humankind, to be kind to each other, to be kind to the world around us and to the universe as well.
I became more and more aware of the problems around us in our society, and how much the world has improved in times, and that we are living in almost perfect world if it weren't for climate change, poverty, or lack of education in many countries. And I think through space and through education we can do so much, and space is a great way to have an impact.
We will be creating solutions for very extreme situations in Mars, on the Moon, and beyond, of how to be ethical with an environment, of how to manage ourselves, manage a society, manage resources that we haven't seen yet on Earth.
I so hope it inspires the world, and I think that's one of the big things why space has to carry on, even if it's so expensive and resource draining. But it is one of the last places where you see so much cooperation that we need to nurture that, definitely.
We often see in the media that China and the US don't talk to each other. We see that Russia and another country don't talk to each other, but when you look at the International Space Station, they do talk, independently of the political tensions. That's a great example that when people want to talk, they can do it.
To me, that's kind of what space is. It's something bigger than all of us. It's history. It's moving humankind to the next level of evolution.
I think there's so many benefits that we derive from using space to improve our quality of life on the ground. Like, I don't know what I'd do without that little lady in my car now telling me, where to turn. I've been around a lot longer than you guys, but, I've seen huge changes in how we do things, and it's really cool. And I think space is a place that can provide benefits to everyone. I mean, that's kind of what it means to me, not on top of just being a cool place to explore.
Fail early and often. It's it's hard, but don't be afraid of failure. I mean, don't do things stupid. But if you don't, take a risk, you're never going to get the big rewards, whatever they are, if they're, you know, and including knowledge and including the ability to look over that hill.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed the video now that you are inside our house, because we invited you all to come in to really see the kind of university that we have. I hope that the point that you took from that video is the inclusiveness of our program, the diversities. You've seen people you have artists from humanities, from engineering, from law and policies. It's the interdisciplinary aspect of our program, and you've seen a global faculty from all over the world who've talked to you on that video. That's what makes this university unique. That's the strength of it, because it's global, it's all over the world, and we're very inclusive. And so to switch, I hope that you did get that message from our videos. Now I would like to acknowledge the presence of some of our guests. Professor Warrington from the University of South Australia. We have our own Professor Pascal Ehrenfond, the president of the university, with us. And we have Professor Andy Coronius and also Ms. Flavia Tarta Nardini. So welcome to all of our guests for this opening ceremony, and I'm very glad that you are with us. Without further ado, I would like to introduce and pass the floor to Professor Warrington, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research and Enterprise at the University of South Australia. Welcome, Professor Warrington, and the floor is yours. And I would like to say, before I finally turn it over, that you've seen the ISU side, and now you're going to see the UniSA side, and also they invite you to their own campus, because this program is jointly put together by two very different universities to make it very complementary to each other. Professor Warrington.
Thank you so much, Keynote, and a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you, wherever you're coming from. I'm sending out a very warm greeting to all of you. I'm currently here on the land of the Kaurna people of the Adelaide Plains, and they always say to us, Nina Mani, which is the question, how are you going? And when they ask the question, we answer, Mani I go well. Now, the Kaurna people have had an unbroken connection to this special place for tens of thousands of years, and they use an incredible word, Nindi. When they put the word Nindi on other words, they emphasize that whatever is becoming. They want to underline the potential, the creativity, the openness, and the change that can come from thinking about the future. Looking twice, investigating. So I acknowledge the generosity of the Kaurna people, the elders, and for the gift of words like Nindi, because space is about potential. It is about openness. It's about looking twice. It's about being persistent, investigating new things, and really dreaming big, and that's why we're all here. I'd also like to acknowledge that whatever country you are coming from, you are warmly welcome, and also whatever disciplinary background you bring with you, you are warmly welcome. I'm a philosopher and historian, and currently writing a book on how machines can write histories. So this focus this year on machine learning and AI is of particular interest to me, and I know that this is going to be a great program. I want to welcome you, and I want to acknowledge Pascal. Warmly hello to you, Pascal, to Andy and Flavia, great friends of the university, and I welcome you to this program, which is jointly hosted by us in partnership with the International Space University. I want to make sure that you get a nice formal welcome to our program, and I want to extend a welcome to all of you. I want to thank also our sponsors and our collaborators. Now, last year, like this year, the program is online, but we go from strength to strength. And one of the great features last year, which I saw, was how many people from different countries joined in. and how people were able to be so generous and share their backgrounds. That is true, I think, this year as well, where we have 11 different countries represented in the program. So congratulations to all the team involved in teaching, and congratulations to all of you joining us to learn in this program this year. And that's in addition to our Australian cohort. It's also pleasing to me to see that 50% of the participants are women, which is wonderful, because space is for everyone. It's for everyone to join in, it's for everyone from different backgrounds, and we hope that you will enjoy this experience. Now, UniSA has had a long relationship with the ISU, and we've enjoyed a close working relationship for a while on this program, and that spanned over lots of different topics. I joined in a lecture last year. I had a great time learning all about the nature of space, which is fantastic. But I'm also cognizant that this program sits in a wider prioritisation of space at UniSA. Now, the focus is on machine learning, and I'll say a bit about that in just a second. But I want to emphasise a couple of things that are going on at UniSA that might interest you. The fact that we're interested in space in lots of different ways. So, for instance, we are host to Venture Catalyst Space, which is an international incubator for space firms, and we accept 9 space firms every year, and they come from Australia and across the world. And last year, for instance, we had graduates, Jijintara from India, which is tracking space objects, Astroport, the US company, which is building bricks from moon dust for the kind of mission base on the moon. We've also got Locust Rose, who are building portable parabolic antennae, and 114 AI, which is a data fusion platform for space awareness, which is pretty brilliant. That's on the back of a lot of space firms that have graduated from the university, like Myriota and Ping, which are out there actually working not just in low Earth orbit settings, but also looking at the Internet of Things and working with people across a whole range of industrial settings, which is pretty exciting. We don't just look at startups, we work across the whole value chain. We love to support firms that are growing really quickly, like Fleet. We love to support big collaborations like SmartSat, which came from UniSA, and I'm glad you're here, Andy. And we like to also work with very big firms that are just tipping their toe into the water in space. And that dipping the toe in can range from engineering right through to law and the humanities, and we're here to support that. Now, our interests in terms of space manufacturing are pretty exciting. We've got current projects underway to improve battery performance, and also how do you build a battery for the moon? That's a pretty good project. Microfluidic thrusters. So how can you make tiny little engines and make sure you can control satellites in the smallest possible ways and manage your payload? Payload management, battery management, space resilient coatings and management of radioactive environments for space objects, using digital twins to do maintenance, managing the payload, and of course, cybersecurity. So just huge range of space activities going on. And I want to acknowledge people like Andy Koronius, who's here tonight, who've played a long role in building up that big activity list of space activities that UniSA has, not only in research, but in teaching. They've shown us over decades that this is a really exciting space. And of course, South Australia calls itself the space state. And when you look at how many space firms we have, you don't doubt that for the second. Now, over the next 5 weeks, I hope you're going to get a great deal of information through the lectures, but also talking to one another, exchanging your experiences, but learning a bit more about what ISU's got on offer and also what UniSA has got on offer in the space space. And I hope that you find people who share your interests, but also extend them and help you to feel that, yes, you've made the right choice to study space. It is a great topic. And we know that this industry is growing rapidly and we need more people to focus in this space. We've got big ambitions for space. We're stretching high. And with the Space Agency, the Australian Space Agency in South Australia, along with Mission Control, along with launch pads, we are extremely excited about the $424 billion space industry globally, not just space in terms of sentinel space, deep space, but also the kind of rise of tourism in space as well is pretty interesting to us. And we expect that the number is going to grow to about $1 trillion by 2040. So if you didn't know it before, you should know it now. That in choosing this program, you are choosing to get on the rocket, ride the rocket, have a great time, learn from one another, and a very, very warm welcome to this program this evening. Thank you, Keynote.
Thank you very much, Professor Warrington, for giving us some status update of the current activities ongoing at the University of South of Australia. really much appreciated, and it's always a pleasure to have you joining us to show, to enhance, to highlight the partnership between ISU and UniSA. Thank you very much. And with that, I would like to also introduce another video that is to really welcome you. I have the pleasure to welcome you to the University of to UniSA, and to show you what's going on in that campus there as well, since we have two sister universities that are hosting these activities. So now we're taking you back to UniSA. Welcome back to the ISU Digital Learning Studio. I hope that you enjoyed the video. It shows you really the intense activities and the immense size of the University of UniSA, and then you can appreciate some of the resources that is located there as well that you might want to keep in mind and take into considerations when you do in your research for the team project dealing with artificial intelligence. Now it's my pleasure to welcome the first speakers, Professor Andy Colonius, and it's really fitting because it is a Southern Hemisphere program to have someone on the side of Australia to come and talk to this class. And Professor Colonius is the current CEO and Managing Director of SmartSat CRT, and you're going to be talking to us about SmartSat and the space sector in Australia. Professor Colonius, welcome, and I will pass the floor on to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. If you could allow me 30 seconds to share my screen and then begin my presentation. I hope that you can see that. Perhaps someone could nod. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Colleagues and friends from all over the world, I echo the very warm greeting that you received from Professor Hughes Warrington, and also Mani gave us a wonderful acknowledgement to country of the Ghana people. I echo that also, and she gave us a very inspiring presentation about what space means to you as students of the ISU, and the great work that ISU has done in actually catalyzing some of the work, particularly the educational aspects of space. As you know, Australia has had quite a great heritage in particularly Space 1.0. We were, in fact, the 4th country to launch its own satellite and the 3rd country in the world to launch our own satellite from our own soil. But during the next 2 phases, phase Space 2.0 and Space 3.0, we were reasonably quiet, although we have done quite a lot in a patch of areas such as communications and astronomy, and we did help transport some of the first audio that came from the landing on the moon. Australia hasn't played a very major role during those 2 periods. However, now that space has been commercialized and indeed democratized, the Space 4.0 phase, as we say, I think Australia has really woken up and has grasped this opportunity with great enthusiasm. And I have to say that the ISU, and particularly the SHSSP program, which started by UniSA, has been one of those catalysts. And indeed, UniSA has played an important role in bringing Space 4.0 to this country. And of course, we mustn't forget the great work that individuals have done and our government, our state government has done to bring the International Aeronautical Congress here back in 2017, which would really put Australia on the map, at least its desire for taking the next step. So again, what we did, we at the University of South Australia, I was a member of the staff of the University of South Australia at that time, through the great leadership of UniSA, we were able to bring a massive coalition of universities and an industry and form the SmartSat Cooperative Research Center that I have the privilege now to actually spend a few moments to talk to you. Back in 2017, 2018, we put a bid to the federal government for funding for us to be able to bring together many of the Australian companies, many of the startup companies like the small startups like Fleet, for instance, and Myriota and Innovor and many other small startup organizations. And at those times, there were only a few of those. Since then, of course, we've grown almost exponentially in that area, but also some medium-sized enterprises. We brought them together with our fine universities, we pitched to some of the global players like Airbus and MDA from Canada, Northrop Grumman from the US, BAE from the UK, and so on. As you can see on this map, a rich tapestry of the ecosystem that actually through research and development is going to build the next generation of technologies for Australia to put itself again on the map and become a space global player. And certainly we are well on the way to do that. We were able to bring together this collaboration, and we're lucky enough to win nearly $250 million. In fact, since the grant, we have now grown it to more than $250 million of R&D. And that brings together and gives us the capability to really develop some new technologies. We've been operating now for 2.5, 3 years. We're in our third year. And already we have increased the number of organizations that are participating in the SmartSat Cooperative Research Center. Not only, as I've said, our great universities, more than 20 universities from Australia and a few from around the world, but also industry and our government. Not only our federal government, but like the space agency supporting us, like GA supporting us, but also some of the state jurisdictions as well, beyond South Australia. And already we now have crafted more than 100 research projects, and we have enough funding for 73 PhD graduations, 73 PhD scholarships. And we are very keen to actually do quite a lot in that area, because the PhD graduates are the future generation. Like you, they are the future generation for space. In terms of our research areas, we didn't want to do everything, because once you aspire to do everything, you would really do nothing. We wanted to focus on areas of strength that Australia had and to build on those strengths. And those areas are advanced communications and connectivity, particularly IoT technologies, but also the next generation of Earth observation, because Australia has had quite a lot of capability through the great work of GA, Geoscience Australia, but also the CSIRO. We have quite a lot of capability of analyzing data, but we're not able to actually take a lot of, to image our own land, our own seas. And in fact, you may not know this, but Australia is very, very big. In fact, we are 10% of the planet, 10% of the globe. Our land mass, our islands, Antarctica, as well as our seas and oceans, are 10% of the globe. And yet we did not have the capability for us to be able to take a selfie of ourselves, if you like. Now, through the great work of startup companies like Fleet and Innovo and many others, as well as the great universities that we are now building satellites, we're able to do that, and we will develop the next generation of technologies. But most importantly, what we want to do is to make the satellite intelligent, and we are focusing on intelligence. We are focusing on machine learning, not just on the ground from the data that you collect and transmit down. And by the way, 70% of that data is in one way or another not usable, because it may be cloud, it may be sand, it may be lots of water, not really useful. It's only a small fraction of that data that's useful. We want to be able to do a lot of that processing on board the platform, on board the satellite. And that is why we called our organization the SmartSat, because we want the satellites to become smart. As you know, and many of you would know, our Australian Space Agency, the great organization that the federal government has established, has 7 priorities. And we are focusing our work on 3 of those, primarily on 3 of those areas: Earth observation, as I said, communications technology, and a lot of new technologies, such as the next generation of clocks, such as the next generation of AI for robotics in space, such as the next generation of digital twins, as Mani mentioned before. These are the areas in which we will focus to develop the next generation of Australia's technologies. And we want to actually apply those in the areas that Australia is very strong in. Australia is very strong in agriculture. We can produce a lot of high quality food. We don't have a lot of water. We need to be actually doing smart agriculture. And that is why we'll be using both the IoT technologies that Flavia will speak to you about, but also the imaging from space. Also, as you know, Australia is a great mining country. One of it has the biggest mining companies in the world and one of the great miners in the world. And therefore, we want to actually get the next generation of mining processes, the automated mine, the intelligent mine through communications. And of course, defense and national security is extremely important for us. In the last 2 or 3 years, we've been developing the industry, the space industry, together with a lot of others. We are not the only organization. We are by far the largest R&D organization in Australia that deals with space, but there are others as well. And we are working collaborative with them. We have nodes in just about every state. We are intending to have nodes in just about every state. And we are already moving towards getting our own heritage through our partners to develop small satellites, but intelligent satellites. We are working in collaboration with the European Space Agency, and we also have projects with NASA as well. Indeed, my chief research officer is a NASA JPL senior engineer that began his work sometime last year. We are very focused. Space is a global activity. As you saw in the introduction, we are the community of the world in space. And therefore, we are very focused on collaboration across our borders. We don't want borders. If you go to space, you don't see borders. And therefore, we want to collaborate with other nations for the betterment of our world. We want to collaborate through joint projects. We've already approved 5 projects through a program we call the UK Australia Space Bridge. And we are trying to actually enlarge that program, both with the UK, but also with other countries as well. Through the great work that Mani and UniSA has done in actually having the visiting researcher scheme, we are expanding that. We will be supporting and indeed co-funding those visiting researchers to come here to provide us with, give us a leg up in some of the technology and some of the knowledge, and hopefully to learn something from us as well. We are very keen also on international internships. In fact, we will be very keen to support, hopefully as COVID subsides, if it does, and the borders open soon, I hope, we really want to kickstart a lot of that. And certainly we're also appointing capability both at the professorial level, but also others as well. In terms of education and training, as I've said, we have already funding for 73 PhD scholarships, and we are moving very fast to actually appoint those. And in fact, what I will do is I will move on to the next slide, and as my slide, the last slide, but have a call out for our PhD program. We are very keen for you as graduates of ISU, but also the people that you know, spread the word if they are able to enroll in one of our partner universities, such as UniSA and many of the others. We are very keen to actually provide international scholarships to students that will be able to study, particularly in the technologies that we have on our technology roadmap. We provide a generous $30,000 per annum stipend. The tuition fees are normally covered by the university. So you really, as a PhD candidate, you really don't have to outlay any money at all. and we will be able to also build collaborations for joint supervision. So even if the PhD student is not able to begin straight away, we would certainly look to work with the universities so that there is joint supervision with universities in Europe, in America, and elsewhere. Thank you very much for the opportunity to say a few words and to describe the great work that the team, that my colleagues are doing, our partner universities and our industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Coroños, for being our guest and also for being willing to come and talk to the class of SSP 2022. And since Professor Coroños just said that space has no borders. So the discussions, when we're discussing space, there should not be limiting subject either. So let's expand on what Professor Coroños just finished talking about to include in that discussion new space, for example, entrepreneurship, and new opportunity in the space sector. So we'll stay on the Pacific Rims, and so it's my pleasure to welcome Ms. Nardini, who's the Chief Executive Officer of Fleet, to expand on Professor Coroños' discussions to talk to us about entrepreneurship, for example, and new opportunities in the space sector. So welcome, Ms. Nardini. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction, and welcome to everyone for the start of this beautiful adventure. And hello to my previous speakers and friends. Listen, guys, I will present you some slides, but I want to give you a little bit of 2 minutes about who I am. I am an Italian that migrated to Australia, to Adelaide 9 years ago now, so I'm Australian now. And I was very, very lucky that when I came to Australia, I didn't give up my space dream. I always wanted to be an astronaut. I am a rocket scientist, so I'm probably one of you guys. I arrived in Australia and I've got a beautiful family, and I founded a startup. I founded a startup that now is a bit more than a little startup. It's, 100 people company. And I experienced this journey of building a company far from home and moving from being simply an employee that does things for big company to build my own company. So I wanted to share with you the journey of Fleet a little bit and what we do, how we can inspire you. I'm here in Adelaide. I love this program, so I'll be able to help you, to support you along the way in the coming period. I've hired a lot of people that went through the program. It's so my platform to look for cool people. But let me tell you a little bit about what Fleet is all about. I don't know how many of you, probably lots, follow entrepreneurship in space and follow what's happening around the world with all these companies raising money in the Valley and creating big companies. Well, I had the chance to do it here in Adelaide. So myself and my co-founder Matt came together 6 years ago. I was a pure rocket engineer, so I didn't know how to build and run a company whatsoever. He was a software entrepreneur. He had no idea how to launch something in space. So we thought that maybe coming together, we could have done something. Fleet was founded 6 years ago, and now is the company that launched more small satellites in Australia. We manage one of the biggest comms IoT constellation in low Earth orbit. We sell to customers all around the world, and we've been very lucky to assemble a team of almost 100 people from all over the world. We got a lot of people in Adelaide during COVID. We got a big sales team in US, and I've been very, very lucky to attract with Fleet people from SpaceX and OneWeb and Virgin Galactic, all amazing humans. So Fleet is a startup, a tech startup for excellence. We raise VC money. We've been through, seed round, Series A, Series B. I don't know, many of you follow what tech startups really means. It means really that we were two people in a garage and an idea, And the idea was to launch a constellation of satellites in low orbit for comms. And that idea became more than an idea, and we started raising money. And so far, Fleet has raised more than 60 million with VCs in the Valley and all over the world. So yeah, that's what I've been busy doing in the past years. What we have done that was very cool at Fleet is, I'm a total nerd, okay? And I know that all of you are not nerd, but again, I built a company with someone that was a software entrepreneur, just an entrepreneur. And most of the time, he's got the most amazing idea. We wanted to create a small satellite that actually was super powerful, because I worked with small satellites since my times at the European Space Agency and when I started my career. And I love these platforms, but most of the times they're not really powerful. So we took the guts of a radar nose that has got very, very pretty complex digital system. We spent 25 million R&D with our VC journey, and we built amazing small satellites. So satellites that are, less than 20 kilograms, and they got the same power and throughput of a 400 kilogram satellite. So this technical journey in the past 5 years was in line with a pretty profound sales journey. But yeah, it turns out to be good. So we have really created this company in a total agile way. We have launched 6 satellites trying to get to mass production, and we got to mass production this year. So Fleet is building now, in headquarters, and it's in Adelaide when I got all these people, but it's just a 600 square meters warehouse. And next year we are moving to a 10,000 square meter warehouse where I will have way more employees, and I mass manufacture 100 satellites a year. So we did super agile. We started for something really small, and we launched, 4 satellites in less than 1 year after our first capital raise. And then we kept growing to satellites bigger and bigger. And now we are getting into the new phase of our constellation. The satellites are called Alpha, and I'll show you something about it. So we have done 4 years of journey that was trying to demonstrate that building a constellation of satellites, was technically viable, economically viable, commercially viable, that people were buying our service. It was a hell of a journey for an engineer, and for a software entrepreneur to try to build something that could really serve mining and energy and customers all around the world. But if you love entrepreneurship, probably you've seen the journey of Planet Labs or Spire, to talk about similar companies, not to talk about Elon Musk, because that's an incredible journey, or Rocket Lab, really. It's a journey down of steps, and this is what we did. I want to show you something just to try to kind of, let me optimize for video clip, kind of show you what's our vision for the future and how you can be a CEO of a startup and have a very cool dress.
Today, I would like to talk to you about information and data. The way we connect always spark a revolution of thoughts, of innovations, of ideas. But technology needs to change. I would like to introduce you to Alpha. Alpha is the holy grail of connectivity, truly global, real-time, and unlimited. Satellites is kind of always held back by one reason or the other: access to space, power-hungry terminals on the ground, lower speed, and really expensive cost to build the satellites. But why Fleet? Why are we there? Why is Alpha there? Because Alpha is the first satellite constellation that's going to be completely 3D printed. We have built the platform around the beamforming system. It's going to have 16 times the performance of our current constellation, just 4 times more of the weight. It's time to make it happen, this promise of satellites. But I think something needed to change, and we are changing it, and we're pretty sure, as we always do, that we're going to deliver.
So this year we announced that we are gonna move into a total 3D print satellite constellation. That is the first time in the history of time, and we needed to get this edge to compete globally against really big incumbents with big money. So we are launching 140 satellites. As I told you, we are moving to a massive factory where I've already bought millions and millions of dollars of 3D printing metals and electronic machinery. So the South Australian government helped us to, it's going to help us to build what is called the Australian Manufacturing Space Park, in which satellites are going to be built, rocket, quantum computing devices, and flying cars. And it's just at the airport next to here in Adelaide. So all this journey, it's just 5 years of my life working, from a garage to what's going to happen now. So it's pretty intense, but we're not stopping here. So we have built a moon mission that is called the Seven Sisters. It's a lot of activity in Australia with the space agency, and we want to work on doing exploration and rover explorations around Moon and Mars in Australia. Most of our customers actually have use satellites and rover to find for new minerals to support the electric vehicle growth and for copper and lithium. So we kind of I found this amazing application with our satellites, and we want to bring it to the Moon and Mars. While I'm talking to you, I've got a massive moon print in front of me. I've got a beautiful girl dressed like an astronaut, and I've got Space Odyssey behind me. And that is one of my favorite movies because it was predicting the future. So I am a big space nerd, but I'm also a normal girl that loves space, that has done a lot of work every day, always with a lot of excellence. And I've done it with someone that was not a space engineer, but we have built something really, really relevant, really big. So this can tell you hopefully a lot about what you can achieve during your personal journey. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nadini, for that exciting presentation and showing us your company has very big dreams. And hopefully the graduate from the SSP 2022 will be able to contribute as part of your companies in the future as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the class of 2022. Learning studio at ISU would be in a, auditoriums, and think about Olympics. All of the participants will be marching with fanfare blaring behind the flags. But since the era that we are today, we have to adapt and still make it interesting. So therefore, we're going to spotlight each of the participants as they introduce themselves. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to introduce them by country in alphabetical order, and then each one of them from each of those countries will be introduce themselves as well in alphabetical order. With that, please welcome the class of 2022. The first country is Australia.
Is Franca Achenbach. I'm a space systems engineer for the Australian Government Department of Defence, Science and Technology. I studied electrical and mechatronic engineering at the University of South Australia, and I love spacecraft design. Currently designing the first ever liquid lens imaging system to be launched upon a spacecraft, and I joined the program to learn as much about space as possible.
Hi everyone, I'm Michael Bayliss. I'm joining you today from Yuin country in the New South Wales Southern Tablelands. I'm excited to be commencing the ISU Southern Hemisphere Space Studies program because it offers a chance to build an invaluable network of peers and mentors internationally and within industry and government. I've only recently started my space career, and I'm sure the contacts and friendships that I make during this course will be a great resource going forward. I come from a space policy background working in the Australian government, so I'm professionally interested in a broad spectrum of space issue areas. My work touches a lot of aspects of national and international space activity, but I'm really looking forward to engaging with the depth and breadth of the course material. But at a personal level, my biggest interest is in Earth observations in space. I live in a part of Australia that's been severely affected by bushfires, and the use of geo data for disaster resilience and management is a topic close to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. And the next one is Mr. Bennett.
Hi, I'm Harry Bennett. I'm currently a research engineer with the Australian Government as part of the Defence Science Technology Group. My background as a student at Swinburne University of Technology involved my exposure to space on the Buccaneer Risk Mitigation Mission, where at the end of 2017 we launched a 3U CubeSat. After graduating in robotics, mechatronics and computer science from Swinburne, I entered private industry before re-entering the Department of Defence, where currently I'm working on an attitude termination control testbed for physical testing of our next mission, a 6U Buccaneer main mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. The next one is Mr. Claxton.
Hi everyone, my name is Owen Claxton. I'm a student at the Queensland University of Technology, and this year is pretty much the real start of my career, although I've been interested for many years. This program will be followed by a study period at the University of Sydney before I go to the Republic of Korea to study at KAIST, where I'm going to be learning about space systems. But my background is fairly small at the moment, mainly some work at CSIRO and a mobile demonstrator platform for a lunar rover, and my thesis, which was an impact detection device for spacecraft. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Claxton. Next one is Mr. Cooper.
Yes, hello. My name is David Cooper. I am a medical practitioner with extensive experience in expedition and disaster medicine. I have a special focus on the use of life support systems in extreme environments, and I am the head of the Pegasus Enviro Lab at the Royal Hobart Hospital and University of Tasmania. Pegasus stands for the Physiology of Extreme Geographic, Aviation, Space and Undersea Environments Laboratory. I'm excited to be doing the Southern Hemisphere Space Studies program because of the opportunities to meet and network with a broad range of individuals who have gone before us and learn from them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cooper. The next one is Mr. Corporal.
Hello everyone, my name is David Corporal. I'm a graduate mechanical engineer with Boeing, and my professional space background is that I've had an experiment on the International Space Station testing an antimicrobial surface coating. Prior to where I am currently, my educational background is in a Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering at the University of Queensland. I'm looking forward to getting out of this program professional development in terms of understanding broader areas of space to help continue with further payload development and with my research, as well as just broaden my space knowledge. On a personal level, I'm very interested in both the space industry and all the other aspects of it.
Thank you very much. Next, Ms. Fabri.
Hi, I'm Yelena Fabri. I'm located in Adelaide, South Australia, on the traditional lands of the Kaurna people. I'm a budding archaeologist. I'm currently finishing my honours degree with Flinders University and also doing my research with the International Space Station Archaeology Project. I am honoured to partake in this program and hope to learn and be inspired by the many space professionals and enthusiasts that are part of the global ISU space family. They say sky's the limit, I say space is the limit.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fabri, for the wise words. The next one is Mr. Foster Hall.
Hi everyone, my name is William Foster Hall. I'm from Adelaide, South Australia. And I'm currently pursuing a PhD at the University of Adelaide looking at novel space robotics. My motivation for joining SHSSP22 was to meet other space professionals and to gain deep understanding about a broad range of space topics.
Thank you. Ms. Hall, next.
Hi, I'm Shirley Holt. I am in Adelaide, South Australia. I have a Bachelor of Arts and a diploma in advertising and graphic design, and I've been working in marketing, communications and graphic design roles for more than 20 years now. But I have a personal fascination and interest in space, and I watch a lot of space documentaries and read articles about space. And I'm very excited to be part of the program to learn a whole lot more about space and hopefully one day have a career in marketing and communications in the space industry.
Thank you very much. Mr. Howard, next.
Hi everyone. My name's Charlie Howard. I'm currently studying a Juris Doctor at the University of Technology in Sydney, having completed a previous Bachelor of Business majoring in economics and having worked in marketing for a few years. I'm massively looking forward to listen, learn and collaborate not only on the content of this course, but also gaining so many different perspectives from all around the world on what the space sector is and what it means to people.
Thank you, Charles. Next, Ms. Knight.
Hi, my name's Claire Knight. I'm also based in Adelaide, and I'm the Head of Defence and Space for a company called Shoal Group that does work with SmartSat CRC, assists the Australian Space Agency, and is involved in other programs in space in the defence industry. My background's as an aeronautical engineer and a flight test engineer, and I've spent a lot of time in Woomera in South Australia, where the early space industry in Australia started. I'm interested in expanding my network in the space community worldwide.
Thank you very much. Ms. Moore, you next.
Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca Muir. I'm a recent mechanical and biomedical science graduate. At uni, I was part of the Monash Nova rover team, which makes prototype Mars competitions both in Australia and internationally. I'm looking forward to building my career in the space industry, and I'm very excited for this year's program, where I'll get the opportunity to broaden my knowledge on space law, science, business, and review.
Thank you. Ms. O'Donnell, you next.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robin O'Donnell and I'm in Canberra, Australia. I'm a legal officer with the Australian Government, and this year I'm joining the team responsible for providing strategic space law advice to the Department of Defence. As a result of this new role, but also a personal interest in space, I thought this program would be a great way to gain some broader exposure to the current issues relating to space, but also to meet and learn from space specialists in Australia and abroad. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Wassel is next.
Hi guys, I'm Summer. I'm a flight instructor in Melbourne, Australia. I've always had a fascination with space and with the universe. I think there's just so many unknowns about the universe, so much that we just don't understand, and that's always fascinated me, especially us being self-aware beings, how little we know about where we come from. And that exploration is something that I really want to be a part of. So I guess I'm here to learn more about the different disciplines within the space sector and how I can bring my skills into some of those disciplines and to meet all of you amazing people as well.
Thank you very much. Mr. Stefano? Next. Maybe he's not here today. So we're going to the next one. Ms. Sturgis, next.
Hi, I'm Brian Sturgis. I first got into space when I was lucky enough to be involved in the creation of the Australian Space Agency back in 2017. And currently I'm the Associate Director for Space Investment Partnerships with New South Wales Government. As part of my job, I get to work with some amazing space engineers, lawyers and entrepreneurs almost every single day, which is the best part of my job. But I will admit that I don't always understand what they're talking about as well as I would like to, which is why I'm here. So I've already learned a lot about space through my job, but I want to get to that next level of understanding across various disciplines within the space ecosystem. So I'm just really super excited to start learning.
You are definitely in the right place with 7 disciplines that we have. Next, it's Miss Tasker. You next.
Hi everyone, I'm Tori Tasker, coming to you from the traditional land of the Kaurna people, Adelaide, Australia. I currently work for the Australian Space Agency in Adelaide, And I'm incredibly excited about the future of both the Australian space sector and the global space sector. My background is in space communications and outreach, having worked for the National Space Centre over in the UK. And I'm really looking forward particularly to learning about space operations and systems engineering to complement my uni studies of engineering at UniSA. I'm really looking forward to such an incredibly diverse set of topics that we have ahead of us, and the opportunity to just spend 5 weeks doing everything space. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Ms. Vaidia, next.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashwini. I'm based in Adelaide, South Australia. My background is in electronics and telecommunication engineering, and I'm currently working at UniSA. It is a great privilege and honor to be a part of inclusive team of this global space community. I'm very much interested to learn and explore space system engineering and space policy through SHSSP 2022. Looking forward to learning from you all, and I hope I can contribute the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, Mr. Douglas Williams. Okay, so we go into the sim that William Douglas is not currently connected. We're going to Miss Kelly Williams next.
Hello everyone, Kaylee here. It's nice to meet you all and have this opportunity to journey through the program we do together. Currently have a background in astronomical and space studies with the University of Southern Queensland. I found this illustrious chance through the Space Discovery Centre site, searching for career pathways. Decided to take the bull by the horns. Very nervous, but also very excited to see what's in store this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And last one from the Australian team is Kelly Yeo.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelly. I'm also joining you from Ghana Land here in Adelaide, South Australia. My background is as a computer programmer and educator with the recent move over to the legal sector with a focus on space and technology. I hold master's level qualifications in both computer science and law. I've loved space since I was a child, and I've only recently discovered that I could actually build a career here. So I've come here to the Space Studies program as a long-term fan. I've wanted to do this for many, many years to build my awareness of the sector and better establish and fortify a career in this incredible field. The cross-disciplinary education and cross-cultural networking opportunities so something I'm really, really looking forward to, and the move online adds inclusiveness to Adelaide compatibility. I'm very grateful and hugely excited to be here.
Thank you very much. Now we switching to the next country, Brazil. Mr. Quentin, you next. Please turn your mic on.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so my name is Diogo Quental. I am Brazilian. I am an engineer and currently doing a PhD in the space field. And my motivation to join ISU was this interdisciplinary aspect of the program, to get knowledge about the sum of the human activity in space or related to space. And also the other motivation was, of course, to strengthen my education background with further qualifications in the field. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to the next country, Canada. And the next one is Miss Dunbar.
Good evening, Australia. Bonjour, Europe, and hello to everyone tuning in from across the globe. I'm joining you from the land of the Wadawurrung people and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. My name is Paroma. I'm originally from Toronto, Canada, and based out of Geelong, which is about an hour and a half out of Melbourne. My professional background is in international relations and business development. My space journey really began with the University of New South Wales, Canberra, and their graduate certificate program in space operations. I really enjoy learning about space security and space governance because that's the point where diplomacy, policy, and international relations meet space. I was most fortunate in being awarded the Andy Thomas Space Foundation Scholarship, so I'm very much looking forward to taking part in the program. It's been such a great time to be involved with space with middle power nations like Canada and Australia having so much to offer. And I look forward to the next 5 weeks together. Thanks.
Thank you. We're all looking forward for those next 5 weeks as well. Next one is Miss Grace.
Hello, everyone. Another fellow Canadian here from Toronto, joining you from the traditional lands of the Kaurna people. And I, of course, pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. It's my absolute pleasure to be here with all of you today and looking forward to our journey. I'm actually a clinician, a medical doctor in hematology and oncology, and my journey to space led me through academia and really wanting to translate advanced technology into real world impact. And this is where I've come across the current role that I'm in as the Associate Director at the South Australian Space Industry Centre, where I work across education, innovation, and the entrepreneurial sectors to really support South Australia as the centre of gravity for space. My personal interests include space medicine, ISRU, so in-situ resource utilization, and information warfare in ISW. What I really hope to gain out of this is learning from each and every one of you here, working together, and enjoying our journey together into space. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Grace, to grace us with your presence. The next country is Cyprus. I believe that the participant there has issues with the microphone and cannot join us. So we go into I wanted to acknowledge that participant is Constantino from Cyprus. So let's go to the next country, is Hong Kong, China.
Hi everyone, my name is Calvin, coming from Sydney, Australia. Currently my educational background is actually mechanical engineering from the University of Technology, Sydney. I'm currently a product manager for a company called Classic Australia, where we work with the academic, public and private industry by providing space simulation solutions to the wider community. I'm currently tasked to commission a thermal vacuum chamber system for a university in New Zealand. And what motivated me to join SHSSP22 was the global factor, as well as the opportunity to network with the various professionals from all facets of space. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next country is in India. Next, first one, Ms. Kolvarkar. You next.
Hello everyone, I'm Ritaksha Kulvalkar and I'm coming from Goa, India. So my background is in mechanical engineering and material science. And I'm very excited to be a part of this interdisciplinary and intercultural program. And I'm looking forward to working with everyone and learning more about the space industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next participant, Ms. Kulkarni.
Hello everyone, I'm Arya and I'm third year mechanical undergraduate from India, and I'm really looking forward to enjoy this journey with a group of peers and extremely focused and innovative projects with ML and AI, and I'm sure about gaining lots of knowledge from this program, and yeah, really excited. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Next country is Italy. And the first participant is Giuseppe Calabresi.
Everybody, my name is Giuseppe Calabresi. I'm an architect and a violinist, and I just moved from Australia to Italy. My master's thesis was on Earth architecture. I was the first winner of an international competition, the Mars City Design 2020 Urban Farming for Extreme Environment Challenge, and that is where my space interest started. I just commenced my PhD with the International Research School of Earth and Planetary Sciences, that is focusing on ISRU and habitats for the Moon and Mars. I'm the director of a space architecture for a space startup called Think Orbital, designing an orbital space station. I'm really excited to be here and increase my knowledge about the space industry. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Ms. Corsi, you next.
Hi everyone, my name is Giulia Corsi. I'm a computer scientist and a postdoctoral researcher in bioinformatics and biostatistics. I love machine learning and I would like to apply it in the field of Earth observation. There is so much data being produced right now and we really have the opportunity to learn a lot about our planet. I am honored to take part in this program. And what really captured me is that it's so broad. I really think it's going to prepare me well to work in the space industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Darar.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniele Dallari from Bunurun Country, Melbourne. I was born in Italy and I've been living in Australia since 2010. I'm a sales and operations professional with 15 years experience in technical sales, management, business development, and leadership. I've enrolled in the Space Studies program because I want to offer my transferable skills to the growing Australian industry by fostering a new generation of space leaders. I'm looking forward to spend the next 5 weeks with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Zanus is next.
Does it work?
Is Ms. Zanus with us?
Can you see me?
We can hear you now, but
okay.
not see you.
I am no DIY. Okay. Hello there. I am Eleonora. I'm coming to you from Milan, Italy. I have a background in industrial design and I'm interested in using design methods and approaches to develop more user-centered supporting system and improve astronauts' lives condition and performances. So I'm here because I want to expand my knowledge about space and space industry and explore further its interdisciplinary nature. So I'm really excited to be here. I want to thank everyone for the opportunity and for their great work.
Thank you very much, Ms. Zanus. Next country is Malaysia. Mr. Singh, you next.
Hi, everyone. So do I have to go on the OPS Zoom stage on the page? Okay. So my name is Kashvinder Singh. I'm based in Adelaide, but I was originally I am from Malaysia. I graduated from the University of Adelaide last year with a bachelor in space science and astrophysics, and this year I'm doing another honors year, also at the University of Adelaide. I joined SHSSP so that I could hopefully boost my employability, expand my knowledge about space, and also meet new people, because isn't that always nice?
You are in the right place indeed. Next country is UK. Mr. Hudson, you're next.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So I'm Sam Jewson, currently based in the countryside of Herefordshire here in the UK, and I'm working as an aerospace engineering graduate in the defence sector. So my educational background, so I did aerospace engineering with pilot studies for my undergrad, and then did my master's in astronautics and space engineering from Cranfield University, mainly focusing on space propulsion. And the reason I wanted to join the SHSSP program was to kind of gain an appreciation of the broader context of the wider disciplines within the space field, and also connect with like-minded professionals. So yeah, looking forward to working with you all in the next 5 weeks.
So do we. Thank you. Next country is USA. Mr. Cheston, you next.
So my name is Sammy, and I'm looking to be a space technology, a social space technologist. I was drawn to the program because of all the many facets of space. It's so overwhelming, and that I always have had a keen interest in space since I was a kid. I grew up watching Star Trek, so that has been my main influence. And I also follow many of the space physicists, in particularly many from New York too as well. And that my background is mainly in mass media communication, such as music and film and television. And currently I do digital marketing. as part of my sidekick stuff that I do. And that, but I'm here just to try to figure out where and how could I be of help for people who are caught up in the digital divide. I want to try to bring space to everyone, not just to a few on the planet. That's my main purpose, and trying to learn something how I can try to make that happen. So that's it.
Thank you very much. And the last, not least, Mr. Hoots.
Yeah, hello, Doug House from the Seattle area. So my studies towards a space-related career were put on hold many years ago. I'd started on a master's degree in space studies through the University of North Dakota. But for the last 20 years, I've been involved in IT operations and architecture, working for a variety of companies, engineering, manufacturing, healthcare. Learned about ISU several years ago, and after the recent years, hearing about so many exciting space projects going on, the timing seemed great to build a bridge to a new career.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Southern Hemisphere Space Study Program class of 2022 with a big applause, virtual applause for everybody. I'm presenting to you the class of 2022. That's my pleasure, and we're going to have an exciting 5 weeks with you together, and we put together a very exciting academic and also social program for you. So we're looking forward to spend the next 5 weeks every day with you. So with that, it's my distinct pleasure to welcome Dr. Professor President Pascal Heron-Font of the University of the ISU. And that's really a real pleasure to have Pascal with us this morning or afternoon, wherever you might up being, to talk to the class of 2022 that we just finished presenting to you. Fun fact about Pascal: you don't mess with Pascal because she has her own asteroid, so you don't want her to directly toward you. So Pascal, that's my pleasure to welcome you, and the floor is yours to talk to the class of 2022.
Yes, thank you very much, Kenol, and I want to say also thank you to Professor Hughes Warrington. I want to thank the Associate Professor Eddie James and also Kenol Jules, which are the SHSSP directors this year and have really the responsibility. I want to thank Professor Andy Coronius and also Ms. Flavia Tatanardini for their really inspiring talks. And well, I'm the president of the International Space University and since only a few months. But it's my great pleasure to welcome all of you to this 2022 edition of the Southern Hemisphere Space Studies Program. As you know, and what you have seen in the video and we discussed, the International Space University really develops the future leaders of the world space community and provides these really unique interdisciplinary educational space programs, including the Southern Hemisphere program. And as has been discussed by many of the speakers before and some of the participants, we are just really living in an incredible time of a dynamically evolving space sector that will also be more and more important for our life on Earth, that has also been touched upon today. The space sector is increasingly integrated with other economic sectors worldwide. And in the near future, we actually need thousands of highly skilled employees in the space sector, especially in the industry, but also in other organizations, in order to design and manufacture and operate innovative space technology and missions, and also keep, the contact and the interest within the society. So space applications diversify with new emerging space nations and a lot of commercial actors, and also increasing entrepreneurship and you have heard about that today already. And international cooperation and multi-stakeholder partnerships, they will really be the key for future innovation in space and also elsewhere. So ISU really provides this trained workforce for the space sector that is able to think out of the box and can address space global space economy trends. So the evolving space sector offers students and professionals of the International Space University really exciting future perspectives. And ISU is really the sole university worldwide which is devoted entirely to space education, and that since 1987. And as has been mentioned already by Kenol, one of the key advantages of ISU is the community of more than 5,200 ISU alumni from more than 100 countries, including space professionals, companies, space agencies. And so an education at ISU offers really great opportunities for employment in academia, space agencies, the booming space industry. And many of you have discussed in your introduction that you are really looking for a great network to advance further your career. So I want to thank everybody who is involved in the organization of the 2022 Southern Hemisphere program, our partner for this program, the University of South Australia, and in particular the SHSSP co-director, Eddie James, and all faculty and staff devoting their time and energy to train the new space professionals. I also want like to thank all our sponsors offering scholarships to the participants, and thank all those which are contributing to the success of this program and the team project. Yeah, has been already mentioned. You're working on a really interesting project using artificial intelligence and machine learning to develop space mission strategies. And I encourage all of you also to watch the presentation of the results on Friday, the 18th of February, 2022. So we are really delighted that you are joining our virtual Southern Hemisphere program, in particular in these unprecedented times. I want again to welcome the 36 participants from 12 countries. We heard about your educational background, which is really very diverse: engineering, humanities, information technologies, life science, physical science, law, space application, business and management, sales. I hope I didn't forget anything. And I'm also very, very happy that our course shows gender equality. So the Southern Hemisphere program is conducted in 2 different time zones. That's not an easy task, I can tell you. So ISU and the University of South Australia are operating a 16-hour non-stop program, and that bit does not include all the preparations. So I want to thank all the people which are involved on that, and in particular SSP Director Kenol Jules, and all the staff which is making such a quite demanding virtual program possible. And you can engage in this really intensive 5-week program and get this multidisciplinary understanding of key activities and areas of knowledge which are really required for today's space professionals. So in closing, I want to again recall the role why we actually established with our partners this Southern Hemisphere program. It aims really to be a catalyst boosting the role of space for countries in the Southern Hemisphere and also those cooperating with them. And we hope that you will probably participate in other ISU programs in the future or courses. And when you are part of ISU, you will be able really to develop and boost your career and make new connections worldwide, and have really this unique opportunity to engage with more than 150 global ISU faculty members and more than 5,200 alumni. So in conclusion, I really want to stress that we have to invest a lot in education, because we need a stellar workforce for the vibrant space sector that supports not only the global space economy in many different sectors, but also enables exciting space exploration endeavors, open new markets for space applications, and addresses really global challenges to the benefit of citizens on Earth. So I wish you all a really, really great experience and exciting 5 weeks ahead. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Madam President. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. Now, this program would not be possible without the support of many groups and organizations. In particular, scholarships are a critical component of this program, and we are fortunate to have a number of generous benefactors. We would Now, I would also like to acknowledge the dedicated and hard work the staff who work behind the scene, as the President just finished to acknowledge a moment ago, to ensure that the program runs smoothly, including the small team of the staff base here at ISU as well as UniSA. Very often, the staff that actually put all of the pieces together to bring it as a whole integrated program are working behind the scene. You don't get to see them. But they know all who they are. And as I said before, this morning I gave a presentation to the class. We have somewhere about 25 staff members. And plus we have the librarian, the IT folks, and we have the academic support with database. We have somewhere about 34 lecturers that will take part in this program. And we have 3 chairs for the TPs, for the team project. And then plus we have 2 other members that will be assisting the team for editing and graphics. So we have a huge number of staff supporting 36 students, participants. And that's, again, the strength of the university. If you look at the supporting staff, the academic, the global faculty support, that's really, when you're talking about the ratios of support compared to participate, you cannot find that in anywhere, in any university in the world. That's the strength of the university. And also I would like to thank really all of the lecturers, our global faculty members that have been coordinating with us since before Christmas, and even during the Christmas break, still spend time to do that. And I want to point that out because of the fact that they are all volunteer. They are enthusiasts of the space sector, and they want to share the knowledge with the next generations. So on behalf of ISU and the UniSA, I would like to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And I think that we're going to take a short break, but and then we will return to start broadcasting for the from YouTube. But at this point, as the director of the program, it is my pleasure to announce that the class of 2022 is open. Welcome, and from this point on, we are on the roller coaster of the next 5 weeks that we're all going to be on with you. But please don't go yet. We have another surprise for you. We'll take a few seconds to stop broadcasting from YouTube. And for the friends and family and supporters who've been listening to us, watching us on YouTube, we bid you goodbye.